Hey, welcome, everybody. Hello, Annie Bear.
Aw.
Kate, I'm so glad you're here. I wish you were here. Tonight we have beautiful Diana Boles coming in from her yard work.
I did take a shower.
Thank
Just
you.
saying.
Thank you. Okay. All right. And we also have Teri Renner from Holding Your Space. And I'm so glad you're here, Teri. Says she may be a bit rusty, but she's done dream work in the past. And so she is joining us this evening to play. That's what we're doing.
Gonna have fun.
We're all going to play. There we go. So, yes, welcome. Anybody that has any dreams they'd like to share with us tonight, any questions that you'd like to ask. Hi, Akila. We will certainly take them in. Annie Bear, I'm really happy to hear you're having clear dreams. You have a need for more sleep than usual. Well, I'm happy that you're taking the time to do it because, when we feel that way, we know that we have to do it. Our body is telling us that it's important. So,
Yeah.
All right. Very good. You think Teri used to teach dream interpretation? Did you, Teri?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Long time ago.
A long time ago? Okay.
Yeah.
So you know Annie Bear. You
Yes.
know Annie Bear? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I do. She's
Oh,
one of
cool.
my meditation tribe. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
See, we really all do know each other. It's just we're re-meeting again.
Yeah.
We're re-meeting. Hello, Claudia. It's good to see you. And Akila, I'm glad you're here. So yes, Teri, definitely. It's funny. You say you felt rusty. Before I taught a class in dream interpretation, I hadn't really thought about it since 1991. I talk about feeling rusty, but it does come back. It really does.
That's what I'm counting on. I've done my friends and my family, but it's been,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Rosie Future, I'm glad you're here, and I'm going to bookmark your comment, and we're going to talk about it. And hello, MK Karen, Annie. Okay, I guess this is part of a question that you're going to ask. And Claudia, you're welcome to put anybody that has a dream or a little piece of a dream, please put it up. And so we were talking, Diana's always got the dreams. She's got the dreams in her book. She writes them over and makes pictures out of them, as you've probably seen before. And hi, Jess R. Nice to see you, dear. I was saying the one I had was a couple of weeks ago, and it was about Freddie Mercury, who is one of my guides and I don't think of him as dead. So, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. And I had a dream. I won a date with him. And so we were on this date, and somebody else won a date with Brian May. And it was kind of like not a real sexy date. It was just like we went out to eat or something like that. And he didn't feel good, so he had to leave. And Brian came to me later and said, Freddie wants you to make sure that you contact him if you ever need anything or talk to him. And so I was telling the ladies, I guess it means I need to get my act together, and I need to spend a little bit more time talking to him. So there you go.
He misses you.
He misses me. Yeah.
Hi,
Pia. Yeah. Oh, who's that? Your little doggy in the back. It's funny.
We all saw that.
Tyler.
Yes. Well, during the sister show this afternoon, everybody's dog was going crazy.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
Miss Astrologer, Diana.
The moon.
What's going on?
The moon is now in Scorpio, but the moon was void for a while. And when it's void, it's not throwing any aspect, but it does have a strength of its own. It's like when, a planet is stationing, which is what it's doing. It's stationing to move into a new sign. So it is, you might feel things churning up inside of you and yet calm down and under control at the same time, right? Like, I could do this. I can do this.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, dogs are pretty in tune with that. And then, like, I'm in the East Coast, so it was 7:43 or 7:45, something like that, when the moon went into Scorpio, and all of a sudden everybody went to sleep. The bird tucked his beak underneath his wing. The two dogs went on the couch, laid down, and they've been quiet ever since.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes. I usually
Yeah.
only have to feed my two and they're gone for the night, you know. It's so Terry just wonders if that's a Boston Terrier you have.
Jess, that is a mini Australian Shepherd, and he's not very mini. He's supposed to be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But he
I
can
had-
still jump. He's doing good.
Yeah, he's the family guardian, so he
absolutely.
takes care of everybody. And he has
It reminds me of my Sheltie. I had a Sheltie that was very miniature, very tiny.
Yeah.
And I got it when she passed away. I wanted another one, and I got one, and she's like a collie, for heaven's sake. It was just amazing, the difference in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So I got a couple questions here, and so I'm going to go ahead and post them. Rosie says she has a recurring dream as if she's being lost and disoriented. Okay. Are you, Rosie, if you can you tell us, are you frightened? Do you feel any kind of emotion around it?
And what are the surroundings that you are in, or do they change all the time?
Yeah.
What is the quandary that you are dealing with in your waking life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Lost and disoriented. I'm almost wondering if it, because it's so, it's dreamy. If it's your spiritual path, you feel like you don't know which direction maybe to go into. Hi, Kelly Healer. Hi, Carol. Hi, Val. My goodness. Hello, everybody. Pia. It's good to see you. Rhonda Rue. All different scenarios, Rosie says, but I'm lost and I can't go home. That's important.
That's a song, and a very good song. And I can't find my way home. It just keeps coming back to that same thing. There is something that you are perplexed about that you may not even realize it's bothering you.
Maybe. Yes, that's true. Not being able to go home.
Change of environment. Are you considering moving? Are you, but if you're disoriented and not be able to go home, is it because you're disoriented and there is no home any longer? You've taken a step, you have moved. What are the things that surround that kind of a scenario? I keep coming back. This is just a psychic hit that I keep coming back to, that this is a quandary that you are in your waking life, manifesting itself in its dream.
Oh, sure. Right. Because that's where you can work on it. Definitely. Right. Where you can work on it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Terry?
Yeah. Normally for me, a home and rooms are different parts of your mind.
Or your body. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you're moving around like that, trying to find it, that's a lot of energy work, perhaps. But also, you might be in a big growth cycle, and since you were a child, and it's terrifying. So yeah, it is terrifying, right? Every time we step out of bounds and we move on, it is scary. But but you're moving on, and you're moving on at a fast clip is what I'm kind of feeling, and that can be a little bit scary. But you're doing it, And obviously
Right.
you're doing a great job at it.
And looking at
Um,
it as a home, as you were bringing up, Terry, and rooms and
mhm.
meandering,
Yep.
chakra alignment
Yeah.
Yep. It's true.
to be separate meditation and
I just can't stop hearing you can't go home again. You can't go home again because the home is different and you are different.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You can go to the house, you can go home to your family and visit or whatever, but you can't go home. But if she's been having this since she was a child, she may not feel at home in the world. She may feel as though yeah,
I think
yeah.
maybe on this planet you don't feel at home, Rosie.
yeah, that was the other thing. Because
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
maybe you should
First time here.
jail.
Yeah, could be. And yeah, I know that when I have had dreams of being with my parents, and that have been long past, but when I was a teenager and living in the home with them, I try to spend my time there, like looking at the wallpaper and everything, just so that I can center myself. And I remember where the mirror was. I remember where the dining, all of that. But I also know when I wake up, it's gone. It was just an illusion, of course. But I like that idea that she might just not feel good. She might not feel at home on the planet, or she may not feel at home with her energy. I don't know.
Yeah. And so often, if we're sensitive or empathic, we don't feel at home in this world, do we? Because it's not
No, we
really
don't.
comfortable, all the energy
Yep.
that comes in. But we keep
Right.
doing it and keep working on it. And
Yep.
kind of feels like that.
Yeah, and I agree with Annie Bear. We are glad you're here, Rosie Future. We have had, a lot of us are tied in this community. A lot of people follow different channels, the same people on different channels. And all I can say is you found the right tribe if you're not feeling at home. So I had a dream that used to reoccur over and over and over again, was that I never dropped my class at college. I had a certain time I had to drop the class or get an F, and I never got in to get it done. And it kept going and going and going. And it was terrifying for me. It was, why can't I get in there and sign the paper that says I'm dropping this class rather than getting an F? Because I had this fear of failure because I hadn't finished my college degree at the time. And so sometimes we just keep getting it because we haven't been able to, assimilate why the dream keeps happening so we can work on it and let it go away. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a dream for a long time that I'd lost my daughter, and she was 3 at the time when I was losing her. And it was over the years. And I felt like that was actually after a lot of therapy that, that it was me. I'd lost my inner child. And I wasn't, I'd been through a lot of trauma and I wasn't
Yeah.
finding my joy.
Sure.
So, and that's important.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is very important. And home is a sense, is a feeling. And
Yeah.
so,
presence. Yeah.
Well, and that reminds me of now I can't think of exactly what the passage was, but when we were in the Carl Jung book,
yep.
The Interpretations of Dreams,
Yeah.
one of those dreams that were highlighted was something very similar to that, and it was her own self, inner child that she couldn't find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And we all have that, especially if we've had trauma and we haven't resolved it. So I hope, the thing that I have to mention, because it is important, is, you may resonate with some of these ideas that we've said, but ultimately you are the one. You are the one that knows the meaning of the dream more than anybody else can tell you, because you're the one who's having it. But, I would almost, if you can do it, ask yourself before you go to bed, why do I keep dreaming about this? What is it that I haven't figured out yet? And maybe you'll get an answer. Sometimes you do. Yeah, very good. All right. So Annie Bear's got a 3-part question. So I'm going to read it here. She found a small folded leather piece and she gave it to an overjoyed family who otherwise would never have seen their ancestors. And the leather unfolded. It held 3 clear photos. And then she says she dreams best under a waning of a silver moon.
Of course.
So let me see if we can get this again now. She found a small folded leather piece. She gave it to an overjoyed family. Must be that they lost it, who otherwise would never have seen their ancestors. And I'm guessing that the pictures in there were of the ancestors, maybe?
So was it a round piece? Was it square? Was it round? What do you remember the leather coin purses that were like a chrysanthemum?
Mhm.
My
Yes.
grandfather always carried a picture
yeah.
inside there in spite of the
Uh-huh.
coin being in there as well. But he
Right.
always carried a picture inside of there.
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay. But this sounds like she does say that it had a clear, 3 clear places to put pictures. So I'm almost wondering. Okay, so Annie says yes and then no. So so are you saying that it's square, Annie? I'm sorry.
Rectangle, she says.
Oh, it was rectangle. Okay.
Beautiful shape,
Okay.
small rectangle. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, Jules. It's good to see you, dear. Hi, Sharon Sipe.
3 clear pockets.
Beautiful shape. There's something important, I think, about the clear places to put pictures and the ancestors. She says that if she hadn't found it and given it to them, that they wouldn't have known who their ancestors were. That was one of the very small photos. Oh, almost like you would have in the old days, right? The daguerreotype. Yeah, or the daguerreotype ones. Remember
yeah,
those?
those two.
Yes.
Skin types.
Mm-hmm.
Skin types where they were even sometimes small. I mean, way small. I've got a couple that were my great uncles,
Okay.
so to speak of, and that's what made me think of the leather coin purse, because
Sure. Yep.
that was the norm.
It was the norm at the time. Each photo was the size of a quarter. So that would be almost the size of a photo booth picture, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been square, but, it would have
Yeah.
been about that size. Locket size. Thanks, Kate.
Oh, nice, Kate. Yeah, I like that.
Kate, you want to come on? We'd love to have you come on with us, but that's up to you, honey. Just let me know. Locket size. Yeah. All right. So what do you think, ladies?
I'm thinking that this is something to do with her past life and her ancestors reaching out to her.
Okay.
Her finding her own ancestry.
That's true, because others can represent us. Is that what you're saying, basically? Okay.
Yes, and when you when you dive down the ancestry tree, rabbit hole, that tree gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you begin to realize, oh my gosh, my cousin is really my grandfather. No, I mean, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and you find relatives that you never knew you had.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Oh, God, that's so true. Yeah. It was a beautiful shape, a small rectangle. Wow.
The size of a quarter. Each photo was the size of a quarter.
Mm-hmm. It made her happy to see their joy.
Well, and okay, so the camera, I mean, if we look at it as ancestors reaching back for her, camera was invented when the first often used cameras was 18
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Well, President Lincoln was the first president to be photographed, but there were cameras before that time. They just were I mean, they were worse than they were at the time where it became easy for people to use them. So this could be like, if we think about artists who used to use the pinpoint camera, it's not a camera at all,
Right.
but that pinpoint so that you could draw or paint to make it look exactly like a life. So ancestors have been using that for centuries, since the 1500s, 1400s.
Right. That's true. And hi, Karen Johnson.
Vermeer used that in his paintings.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Okay. Kate says it might be gifts or treasures for Annie to share, and she's finding. See what I mean? Kate comes up with these things.
Yeah,
She's amazing. Kate is amazing. I agree, Kate. It could be that since this was something that made those people so happy, and I think you feel so too, Annie. And isn't ancestral healing up and down now? Up and down the chain. So if you're working with your own healing, you can heal both ways.
Yeah, forward and backward. Yeah,
forward and
present and future, and past. I feel like it's you're finding your gifts here, your treasures, like Kate said, and you're finding them and you're recognizing them, and your ancestors are recognizing them, and they're so pleased about it. And they're giving you the gift of all their past experience and their past vision, because the camera's the vision, right? Or picture photograph is.
You know, and as just before this began, and you put the question up, I pulled out a tarot deck just to have something to do with my hands, right? Because I pulled out the relative tarot. Which is
nice.
You know, like here's the Knight of Pentacles.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, I had no reason to pull this one out. I was just shuffling it in case we needed it.
There's never a reason. It's always spirit coming through. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. And Lauren agrees. The gifts are treasures to share. This is what she's doing now on YouTube. Yeah.
She is. She's doing beautiful
Makes
work.
total sense.
That is so cool. Thank you. And look, we got the benefit of Kate without her being here. Thank you, dear. I was just telling him how good you were. All right. Let's see. I got all of those. So the next one we have here, and I have, I have Claudia, Pam, Pia, Carol, and Lauren, and Starfish. So we'll get to yours. Okay. The first one is coming in 2 posts. Okay. I've never been pregnant or parented anyone's children, but I keep having dreams about not being able to find my baby, other people's babies. My cat swaddled up like a baby. I'm screaming, my baby, my baby. I'm trying to find them. What does this mean? I wake up stressed, sad, and upset. All right.
Well, Cat Mama, first of all, you do rescue cats, and they are your babies.
They are your babies, yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But it could also be her inner child. And, you know, but it does resonate to me that she hasn't had human babies, but she sure had a lot of cat babies. Yes. Mm-hmm. And they are her children.
Yeah.
So makes a lot of sense. It really does. But sad that she wakes up screaming and she's sad. It may be some kind of a fear that you're going to lose your animals, because it's awful. I mean, we do lose our animals, and we don't want to lose our animals. They don't live long enough for us. We'd love them to live longer. But what do you think, Teri? Anything from you?
Well, your baby would be, of course, your something perhaps that you're just creating inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Kali Hiller, fear of loss. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or fear of loss. And when you're creating that inner child, or like you're creating a new thing, like you've got this great idea, and you're
Mhm.
creating it and you're putting all this energy into it, and then you lose it.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Inner child wants to be acknowledged, but also um, all these different aspects of the inner child want to be acknowledged. So you've
Sure.
got a huge inner child that wants to come out and play.
Yeah,
Right.
she
And
really does.
it's all
Yeah.
wrapped up. It's swaddled so tightly, and that means there's no hand movement. It's tight in the box,
Yeah.
tight in the blanket,
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah.
So today when I posted on Facebook what the signs of claircognizance are, and you said, "Oh, I may be these things." Yes, you are. You have that intuition, um, Claudia, and well, we're all born with it. It's just that a lot of us ignore it, or we don't take our gut feeling or our sense of knowing seriously many times.
That is
Because it's been squelched out of us from early childhood, which
Yeah.
could
Mhm.
be that swaddled up cat.
yeah, civilization constructs, right? Society's constructs.
Mhm.
We're not supposed to be able to see things that aren't there, or notice a cloud as a spaceship or whatever.
Right, right.
So you notice all these things all the time, but
Uh-huh.
maybe society's been telling you no, and
Not,
I feel like they're all coming out to play now. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Cat Mama. And look at your fun name and your fun avatar, and you do come out to play. You make
She
the
Yeah.
most
does.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really does. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Well, I think you just have to trust it, Cat Mama, because you have it already. And all of those components that were listed, one of them is the creativity, the reading and the writing, the coming up with new ideas, the just knowing something. I
yeah.
think you have a lot of that, and it does take us to trust it, because I don't know about you, but I always say, so and so is so good at what they do, they're much better than I am. And sometimes we have to just say, wait a minute, I'm not chopped liver, I can do it too. It's just that we're different. That's all. We're very, very
Yeah.
different. Yeah. Yep. Valerie, I love this. She'll never understand how most of society just ignores the magic.
Right?
Amen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Especially in these times.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. When I was talking with Ann Simpson about what's going on with Chat GPT and my concerns for it,
Yeah.
and how they can take that and be creative with it in their own way, but the fact that it's going to be that everybody's going to see something, hear something, and whether or not it's real or not isn't gonna, it's going to go out the window. And yet right now, before all this happened, when people are being told not to believe what they see because of, and so it's just really, it's like we're really in this.
Well, in ancient times, they were afraid of us writing things down
Right.
because if you didn't memorize it, you could be making it up.
Yep. Yep.
But
That's
the
for sure.
difference is when you get to this chat stuff, what are they
Uh-huh.
doing? They're burning the books.
I know.
You
I
can't
know.
look it up and prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I shouldn't get started. Let's go back.
No,
to
I know.
No,
I know.
true.
But I forgot, and this is absolutely important in this instance. Cat Mama writes children's books.
Yes.
Oh, you have babies all out
Yes.
around the place.
Isn't that so? She doesn't have children, but she writes for children, and she has the childlike wonder, and she has published these books, and she continues to do it, and she loves to make pictures and beautiful story. So no wonder why. That's your baby too.
Well, wait a minute.
That's your baby that you've let go of. Yeah.
And the binding in the book.
The
Oh,
binding in the book.
yes.
There you go.
The book is the binding's
It's
holding your
swaddled
book
together.
together, and that's your baby.
That's beautiful. That's
That's
beautiful.
really good.
I'm so
my.
glad you
Yeah.
got back to our memories here that you
Yeah.
Cat Mama, that you write books. I forgot.
Yep. She says her people are the children of the world. So yes, absolutely. And you are affecting the children. And so it is your baby. Your books are your babies when you think about them, and you have to release them. You get to write them, you get to create with them, but then you let them go.
That's good, Alan. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And animals are your people, I know. That's great. Valerie says the veil is getting thinner and thinner pretty soon. There'll be no denying that there's more to our world than the status quo. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So are you not feeling, what does that all mean? What does it mean? What does it mean to you to hear that? Do you feel as though your books that you're creating, they came from here or from here, spirit probably wrote through you, and they're all bound up together, just like your dream. And then you're letting them go so so the children can read them. And so don't be terrified of success. Don't be terrified.
I love that, Allie. Yeah.
Someday, she'll get the Caldecott Award or something.
Well, exactly. And the baby does have to go to school the first day, and Mama has to leave at the door.
Yep, that's for sure. And Valerie says, in Cat Mama, the animals in your books are your inner child expressing itself. Absolutely. Yeah. But these are your babies. Good. These are your babies. Definitely.
And that's probably when you write, that's like your meditation, I would think.
Yeah.
Artists, when they're painting or writing, that's when they're completely tuned in to that spirit.
That's perfect.
Still looking for maybe a sign that the new ideas will be so loved that remembering them are worth seeking. I don't want you, I mean, I can't tell you how to feel, honey, but I think it's liberating, but if you don't think so, if it's making you anxious, I'm sorry, but they are your babies. These books are your babies, along with your kitty cats and your other loves that you have. She actually had one of those lending libraries, or take a book or leave a book. She had one of those at her home, and somebody stole them, all of them. And I don't remember if they destroyed the area or what they did, but that's, to me, is just so sad that people can't, go along with, with being kind-hearted and loving like she was. But I hope that you got that all back together.
I have a suggestion, Cat Mama Meow.
There you go.
Is to wrap yourself up and think of Our Lady of Guadalupe or the Divine Mother or Kali or whoever you want to think of, and look at that beautiful blue veil of serenity and wrap yourself up, bind yourself up in that when you're feeling anxious, and feel her serenity and her light around you, holding you. And you might even rock a little bit and see if that doesn't make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. You still have a little free library. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, honey. I'm glad. Hi, Wildflower. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because that's who you are. You are so giving, honestly. Okay, Terry, she says, good. Yeah, we don't want you to feel anxious, honey. And it's your feelings about this dream, but the feeling terrified or feeling, that would be good to transmute into something else, so that you don't have it as a nightmare. It's more of just a releasing and a letting go of your daily life. So, all right. Well, these are very interesting dreams, you guys. Thank you. So Pam Cunningham had a dream that a spaceship landed across the street from her house, and I was on it. Was that a dream? Do you want to really know?
Probably you were on it. I can't, it's hard for me to be objective about these, because I go on little trips. So well, that's not the most latest dream I've had about being on a spaceship, but when I have dreams where I actually see movement, like most of the time, our dreams are we're flying and hovering over it, and we see snapshots, right? Not necessarily
Mhm.
the whole big movement, but the after effect or the moment before, the snapshot of it. But when I'm in a dream and I can see hand, body, bending, moving, all of that, I know that this is another reality, that I am either on a spaceship, which a lot of the times that's where I'm at, or I have astral projected to a past life, future life,
Ah,
and
hmm.
it's even more than just having a lucid dream, because it's like I'm right in the room with the person and the movement is normal, right? It's just constant normal. So ask yourself about that. Did you see movement that made you feel that you were present in the moment?
Hmm. Hmm. I had something similar happen to me in Florida once when I lived in my ex was not home. No one was home but me. And I remember waking up and feeling I had little ETs around my bed. And but I really thought it was a dream. I did not think it was not a dream. But now, just thinking about it, I realize
Right, we're so often
it's real.
left in a
Yeah.
what just happened kind of dream, like, oh no,
Hmm.
or suddenly
Hmm.
wake up. But you were on it and you were getting off of it. Did you feel that that was really you? That you were watching you as in a dream, kind of the snapshot, quick change scene, change scene? Or
Yeah.
was there a steady flow of energy?
Hmm. It's a good question. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
really good question.
Like
I put.
a couple of nights ago, or 2 weeks ago, I had a dream where I was being ushered to a chair, and I was in this great big huge spacesuit. But it wasn't just a spacesuit, it was my ship. It was my spaceship.
Oh.
And as I was being ushered to this, I shouldn't call it a seat because it was more like something to lean on. All of these tall whites were around me, removing parts of my spaceship, parts of my um, suit, my space suit. And it was
Mm.
as if they were like the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy, or
Yeah.
it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and then these parts would come out. And
Uh-huh.
inside the parts were, it was like the Trouble with Tribbles, but it was all the fairies.
Oh.
And this was the first time ever that I'd been taken and taken into a Federation meeting. I'd never been anywhere on board the ship except to um, my containment area, where I would bring whatever it is I'm supposed to bring, or take back with me whatever it is I'm supposed to deliver. And when I stepped into this Federation room, everybody was wearing a cloak, and that cloak provided the environment for each one of these entities, their home environment, rather than trying to commingle under somebody else's environment that is not good for your health. And when I was no longer in the spacesuit, now allowed to be in this Federation meeting, I was wearing my typical druid wool cloak and, you know, all the witchy stuff that would have been mind born in the past life,
Mhm.
sometimes this life too. But it was so real, and they told me, we call you the bridge.
Uh-huh.
And conversation began. Next thing I knew, I was home. And
Wow.
it was morning. The sun was shining.
Did you
And
feel like you hadn't gotten any sleep?
no,
No.
I
Okay.
never feel like I never got sleep. I'm not a
Okay.
big sleeper to begin with. Like
Uh-huh.
5, 6 hours and I'm up.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't feel that way at all. But the movement, which I've seen this kind of movement in
Mhm.
astral projection, means that the spirit is really there.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. Wow.
as an example, that's the only thing I can think of.
A lot of people are saying they feel it was real. They
Yeah.
do.
I
Yeah.
do too.
You do too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I go to some spaceships too, and their bright light is so bright. That's right,
Yeah.
because a lot of them are fueled on light,
Right.
Yes.
crystalline energy. So, Pam, I
Mhm.
definitely feel like you're doing that, and then it's so close to home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would bring in that this is something that you probably do quite often in your dreams, is
Mhm.
go there and serve somehow. But definitely the bright light would bring in that you're a healer, perhaps. So I'm just pulling
True.
some of these.
Oh,
I love these
cool.
celestial
Yeah.
cards.
Healing.
And
Yeah.
this one's all about healing. And it kind of, and you can see like the angel wings above. And a
Yep.
lot of these entities, when they're in a different density, a higher level, they're just like angels. So
Mhm.
you're probably going in there, and you probably do it a lot because it's so close to home.
Yeah.
And I got the same thing. I got here first secret and then create mystery.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
yeah, so whenever this happened to you, you probably were thinking, is this something secretive, or is it creating the mystery and bringing me into the mystery? So, obviously, yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, and
Thank
with this card, I think you're probably a healer on that ship.
Yep.
The healing,
Beautiful.
and that would be part of that mystery, perhaps.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Wow, that was great. That was a great question. A great dream.
Really good one. Yeah.
Yep. Pia always dreams she can't find her vehicle when I come out to the park. Oh, Pia. Can't find your vehicle. Yeah. I wonder if you have been astral traveling and you hope you can find your vehicle to come back, but you're tethered to it. You're tethered to yourself. But this is our vehicle, and we're parked in bed, sleeping. So I don't know. That just came to mind. What else do you got? Do you have any idea? Anybody else?
I kind of get that maybe when you're out there, you're going through different densities and then coming back. Sometimes we come back too fast,
Uh-huh.
and we might not acclimate all the way, finding our physical vehicle, or sometimes you wake up and you feel kind of, and you didn't have anything to drink. You didn't have a glass of wine before you went to bed, or anything else. Who knows? But
Uh-huh.
but there's you try pressing the panic button. Yeah, right.
Oh,
And
that's funny. Yeah.
and we kind of just sit there, and we have to come back into our bodies, and you're like,
Right.
okay, you're waking up and wondering where you've been all night.
Yeah.
So that could have something to do with it. I don't know if that
Yeah.
feels
Maybe if you had a stone there, you'd feel more anchored to. That's a good suggestion, Annie. That
good idea.
we can, but if it has anything to do with traveling outside of yourself,
Yeah.
there are people that are very concerned that they won't find their way back. And what will happen to them? Will they die? No. People say that doesn't happen because we are tethered. So
Yeah. Just throw your lasso out there. The gold thread, the silver thread, whichever color resonates with you, but
right.
is the silver thread that is connected to our heart center and our soul. And as long as you make sure that that is with you, when you leave, it stays with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea. Also, sometimes you might practice coming in and out of your body when you meditate or something, and which way is more comfortable for you to come in and out, because then your brain actually connects to that, and your energy connects to that. And then, like, I jump out of my body and my feet go up and I go like a backflip. And then when I come in, it's feet first, the same way.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea. I always think of it as leaving through the crown chakra, but
Yeah,
you're an acrobatic person.
only that way. I could never even do a cartwheel. Oh yeah, you got
Look
it.
what's on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah,
The lasso. These are cards she made. These are cards that Diana made. Yeah.
oh,
they're
Diana,
really cool.
I want some. Yeah. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's you've got it. It's there. You're safe.
Yeah.
You're strong. You're not going to break free of it. You are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's could it help Pia's life if she sets the silver or gold cord before she goes to sleep? That's a good idea. Yeah. She could do that too. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And
Anything.
it's good practice to speak to your guides before you go to sleep. Call them in by name if you have names for all of them.
Yeah.
And anyone I forgot, as Susan Lynn would say. And then so, and ask them to help you along the way for that extra protection. Thank you for the protection. Always thank you first, because they're going to protect you.
Yep, definitely. That's awesome. All right. So Carol, I'm so glad you're here, Carol. She was waking up. As I was waking up, I found myself with my arms outstretched and using my hands lobster clawing and saying, "Is this all that is needed? Thanks." Who was I talking to? I was very happy. Edward Scissorhands. No.
who I just happen to have a doll of, and because I absolutely love him.
Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. That was my daughter's favorite movie forever.
Oh, it was?
Oh, God, yeah, we loved it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Carol.
So let's see. What you think?
Yeah.
I wake up, find myself arms outstretched, using hands lobster clawing and saying, "Is this all I needed?"
Pincher.
Were you carrying something, or you were making the continuous motion? So you weren't carrying something.
Carol, I get that it could be, see if this works for you, if this is dream language, or light language, because a lot of times it's not just verbal, it's also, there's a lot of hand stuff going on. Yeah. And I kind of think that when you're coming back in and you're saying, "This is all I needed," you're learning it, and you might be learning it with hand gestures instead of with your mouth. And I get that sometimes when I channel too, instead of verbal, I will. Yeah.
And I've seen other light language people do that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Louise Rhodes, who is from England, when she does light language, she does this, and she does a lot of animal sounds when she does it as well. But it does sound like you were learning how to do something. I mean, from what you've said, and you were very happy about it. So it is some part of your journey, some of your gifts. Makes sense.
Yeah. She says she gets that when she channels too. So you were making the motion. Yeah, you're definitely doing it.
Yeah.
And it could be a DNA upgrade while you're taking it in.
Uh-huh. Or it could be a past life, couldn't it, where she did sign language?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely hypnicity. That's really good.
Oh, it felt ET-ish, she says. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Like the language of blinking.
Yeah. Yep.
More
And yes, John Benny does that. Energy healing also has hand gestures to clear, like Reiki does, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love John Benny. He's so much fun.
Isn't John fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's lots of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I think it's wonderful, Carol. I would love to see you come on and do some channeling. Yeah, it sounds really cool. And Carol works with horses. She works with a lot of horses. And so, aren't there some ET places that are like there's birds and then there's people that there are horses in different dimensions or something? Is that true? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My daughter used to ride, and her riding instructor was very woo-woo. So we would just talk the whole time while she was, going about. But she swore that her favorite horse, Silhouette, who was a gray, that she was an alien and or galactic. And one day she just disappeared. Nothing around, no tire marks of any cars coming in, nothing. And she said, well, she went home.
Wow. And no one ever found the horse. Never.
And she was an older horse. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
But you would think a carcass, if it had gone off to die or something, that would have been around. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. That's an amazing story. Well, Carol, just keep doing what you're doing, because if you felt happy doing it, then that's awesome. There's nothing better than that. I love that. That's awesome. So we got two more here today, ladies. We have Lauren Hunsinger. She had a dream when her daughter was little. She reached up on the stove and pulled a hot pot of food on herself. She was wearing yellow. I never bought her any yellow clothes. I have something to add to this. Not you, Lauren, of course, but my friend was what's Christian Scientist. She was and she actually reached up and pulled a pot of boiling water on herself, and it completely covered her. She was a little girl, like 6. And they wrapped her up in blankets and they prayed around her, and she never, ever had anything wrong. No burn marks, nothing.
Brilliant.
I know. Yeah. I was flummoxed when she told me that story. And yet here's something that kind of reminds me of it in some ways, even though it was a dream, but maybe it was a past life.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have bought my daughter any yellow clothes after that dream either. Yeah. It was almost like an omen of some sort. Yeah.
It does feel that there was some sort of prophecy in there.
Yeah.
That it was a possibility, perhaps. Also, if you go to Jungian theory, then the daughter would be an aspect of your conscious self.
True.
Childlike. And the stove would be a place where we make our food, our knowledge, our wisdom, and yellow representing, wisdom, the sun, enlightenment,
Illumination.
and that there could have been a time, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here. There could have been a time in a past life that you weren't supposed to know what you knew, Lauren. You could have been maybe a priestess or something, or
Yep.
whatever, and you weren't allowed to have that. You weren't allowed to be knowledgeable as a woman or as a man. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
so I don't know if that would fit. If you feel that at all.
Mhm. She said she's always believed it was a message from the higher realm.
Yeah.
I have long had a foreknowing of things to come. So yes, it was probably a prophetic dream that you took in as reality, that if you didn't follow it, it would occur, probably occur, or it
Yeah.
did in a past life. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have definitely been creeped out by having that dream. Yeah. Yeah. I pulled some cards. I got work, and then I got play, and then I got trick. And so I'm just wondering if, and it's interesting because these cards actually have pentacles on the corners. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
that's exactly what you said, Teri, about her possibly having white magic or whatever, and people treating her a certain way. But and other people have said too that they think it was past life, and I think either one could be true.
Both.
Or both.
Yeah, take them both, honey.
Yeah.
That's my
But I'm
mind.
glad you
sure.
follow your dreams, your intuitions, and you follow whatever foreknowing you have, so that you're honoring that, Lauren. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank goodness you have the gifts. That's right, Annie. Yep. 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 Oh, so hypnicity. I tripped my mom with artichokes in boiling water. I have a scar on my chest. Oh my God. That must have been awful.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. And it was, what your mother, she didn't say this probably, but she probably was thinking, well, it's your own damn fault. You tripped me. I was fine. Oh, you do, Annie? She gets foretelling dreams about family. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah.
did with my mom dying. So I understand. Yep. Can't do much about it when you get something like that. But yeah, they do listen. You're right.
Good.
All right. So Jenny's going to give us a little bit of things to, I don't want to say laugh at, but an alligator was after you in the house and was hiding under the sofa. Okay. So in the last 3 days, I've heard alligator stories. Some guy went out somewhere to pee behind a bar and an alligator bit his arm off.
What?
Then I was watching, and then I was watching a show that I've been watching called Fatal Attraction. It's it's not the movie, but and in that one, the guy said that an alligator bit off a guy's, oh no, he did a buzzsaw. That's right. And planted it so it would grow. It's just kind of crazy. But there's been a lot of weird alligator things going on. And I'm wondering well, we know that alligators are more able to get out now than before because everything has become compressed, kind of the same way with bears and deer. There's no place for them to be because everything is more urbanized. But I'd love to hear what you think, ladies. It isn't a fun dream. No, it's not.
So, Jenny, has everything moved have you taken everything out of your other apartment? Did you get it all cleared out?
Oh. Are you still here, Jen? Hypnicity thinks reptilians are everywhere.
It's true.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I don't know if Jenny's still here.
Oh,
All right. Let's see. Yes. Oh, she is. Yes, she said she has taken everything out. Oh,
Okay.
so yeah. Okay.
Is there something you've lost that you can't find?
I'm not afraid of reptilians. That's good.
That girl's not afraid of much. Because of the recent events that have happened to you.
Right.
So this alligator, he's already in the house. And I just can't help but think that this has something to do with Phil.
Oh, okay.
With
You know,
what?
her husband passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's just
sorry.
recently also had a memorial for him in Virginia,
Right.
where they grew up.
Yep.
And I just, because of the dreams that I had with you, he came in the front door, and then he's to get me later. He came into
The alligator did, or her husband?
I'm thinking she means that the alligator came in the front door and was hiding to get her later.
I have an idea on that.
Okay.
The reptilian brain is a part of our brain, and it controls our root chakra, and it's a lot of fight or flight, freeze, also coping. Just as women, sometimes we just cope when we go into fight or flight, right? We don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it, girl. We are just getting it done.
Right.
And and when you're going through a lot of trauma, I mean, that's your body releasing those endorphins, and that's the way that we protect ourselves. And you got it going on. You're going through all that. You are coping. You're getting her done. And now he's going away. He's going to bed.
Exactly. I think you're really onto something, because there was so much energy and so much trauma wrapped up in the time that it took him to cross over. And so all of that was pent up, and now you are there for just you. And it's like, wait a minute, I got too much. What am I going to do now?
Yeah, he can go away.
Isn't there a saying that somebody's up to their ass in alligators?
Not my house.
Have you heard that before? It's like, in other words, there's so much BS to do that
Now she does.
Yeah.
Now all of that stuff that she had to do has been taken care of. The apartment's cleared out. She's in a new space. She's gotten a new job, and all of that.
No,
all those alligators have been cleared out. Yes.
Right. And the memorial service has been taken.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow, that's impressive. That's really impressive. Yeah.
I know, Jenny. It's time for Jenny now.
Yeah.
It's time
Put
for
that
you.
guy to bed.
Yes.
That reptilian brain.
Yeah. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen that are in the chat too, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. It always is fun, but every time it's something different. And so, it's a lot of fun to do. And so thank you for being here.
All those dreams out there in the chat.
That's right. Bring them on. Bring them on. We'll try to get back with you again really soon. Thanks, Annie. Thank you so much, everybody. Big love to you.
Wow.
Sweet dreams.
An hour went
Sweet
by
dreams.
already.
I know. Sweet dreams, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody. Bye.